Good morning.
Good morning.
Today we have Les Stella with us, and Les has been in the cheerleading industry for over 40 years. So Les, tell me a little bit about how you got started and kind of where your path took you.
Sure. The end of my junior year in high school in 1983, which is, yes, I'm that old, got started in cheerleading and then cheered my senior year in high school. Then after my senior year in high school, I started working for UCA, which has now become varsity, and worked for them teaching summer camps. And I've been in the cheerleading industry ever since then, so from working camps to work on the administrative side. I helped start and run USACF, which is the governing body for the All-Star world.
So how has it changed over the 40 years you've been part of this industry? Is it stay the same, the expectations the same, or has there been some evolution?
Not even close to when I started. The strength and the skill sets are astronomically harder and higher and more difficult. The requirements that nobody that I cheered with, including myself, with the skill sets we had back in the day, when I started, would ever make a team now. I'm not saying that we couldn't have made it if we wouldn't have increased our skills, but those skills just weren't heard of back then. And compared to the stuff that kids are doing now, these kids are extreme athletes and they're very talented.
What do you do to prepare for a peak competition? What goes into that?
Well, lots of practice. You have your choreography, and then you have jumps, tumbling, stunts, and I'd lump baskets and pyramids into basket tosses and pyramids into like the stunt building category. You're training for perfection. I mean, I don't think anybody's ever had a perfect routine. I mean, you can see it, look at a routine, you think it's perfect when you're judging it or you're a crowd, you're sitting there watching it. But if you talk to the kids who come off the floor, like, oh, I miss this, I miss that. But it's that the job of the athletes to make the routine look perfect, even when it's not perfect. And that just comes through repetition and training and going through it, week after week, day after day.
Are there some techniques that you try to give them to help ease the butterflies?
Yeah. One thing back when I was coaching back in the 90s, I would take my kids, and while we're behind getting ready, there are 2 teams ahead of us or 3 teams ahead of us, I would make them peek through the curtains to see the crowd, to see the lights. Because the last thing I want to do is get focused, and they get on the floor and they pick their heads up and they're like, oh my God, they see the crowd, the lights, and they freak out and they miss the first 8 count in the music or whatever it is.
Sure.
So I try to get them like, okay, see the crowd, accept that, get used to it, know what you're getting into. All right, let's get back here and focus again and get the team ready.
Well, what type of strength is the most important kind of strength? Would you say core strength? Would you say arm strength? Would you say all of it, head to toe?
I think head to toe.
Yeah.
Obviously, core strength is important in anything you do.
Yeah.
That's if you had to rank them, I would say core strength is number 1. Arm and shoulder strength as you're lifting somebody up is obviously important, but at the same time, if you have that arm and shoulder strength, if you don't have the core strength to stabilize your body, you're not going to stabilize somebody else's body. I would say that most of these athletes don't get the training that they need. Just because when they go to practice, the coaches are focused on choreography, they're focused on, work on the stunts, work on the pyramids, work on the routine, work on the synchronicity. There's a lot to work on in a short amount of time. To be the type of athlete that you are trying to be, you need to find a way to get more training, more strength and flexibility training.
What skills do they struggle with when they're trying to advance? What do you see common issues as they try to advance in their career?
There's girls that I've worked with, they don't have the leg strength, and I'm just teaching them about hamstrings to really jump and lift the body over their hands. So they're crashing down on their hands, and my wrists hurt, my elbows are hurting. Well, you're not jumping enough over your hands because your hands you should never land on your hands and push off. The hands should just kind of catapult you on as you're going. But they don't have the leg strength to jump over their hands, or the core strength to pull the legs over as strong as they need. You need brute strength and explosive strength. If you're doing the stunts, you need the brute strength to lift somebody up and to stabilize them when you're holding above your head. But you also need the explosive strength for the jumps, for the tumbling, and the explosive strength to when you're lifting somebody up to explode up to get them up above your head. I probably would say, and if you ask me tomorrow, I may give you a different answer. But right now, I'm guessing the explosive strength is what's mainly missing.
Explosive strength.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting.
And of course, working on stunts, you're building strength. It's just like lifting weights. You're lifting somebody else's body or your own body, and so you're kind of getting workouts, but not specializing to where you're just like, as if you're lifting weights or you're doing some kind of routine of fitness, you're going to failure. When you're lifting the stunts and pyramids, you're not going to failure.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Les, for your time today.
Sure.
This is so helpful.